You know that feeling when you're reading a book and suddenly the setting itself becomes the enemy? Maybe the characters are battling against a raging blizzard, or they're trapped in a claustrophobic submarine at the bottom of the ocean. Suddenly, the environment isn't just a backdrop, it's a force to be reckoned with. And as a writer, that's exactly what you want. You want your setting to be more than just a pretty painting in the background. You want it to be a living, breathing adversary that challenges your characters at every turn. Think about some of the most memorable conflicts in fiction. In The Hunger Games, the arena itself is a deadly obstacle course, filled with traps, hazards, and environmental threats that the tributes must navigate and survive. In The Martian, Mark Watney is stranded on a hostile planet where everything from the atmosphere to the soil is working against him. These stories are gripping because the setting isn't just a stage. It's an active participant in the drama. So, how can you make your own settings come alive as sources of conflict? Well, one way is to put your characters in environments that pose direct physical threats. Strand them in a scorching desert with limited water, or trap them in a building that's slowly filling up with poison gas. Force them to confront the harsh realities of the world you've created and to find creative ways to overcome those challenges. But setting can also be used to exacerbate your character's internal conflicts. Let's say your protagonist is struggling with feelings of isolation and loneliness. Now imagine placing them in the middle of a vast, empty tundra with nothing but snow and silence for miles around. Suddenly, that internal struggle becomes externalized, amplified by the bleak, unforgiving landscape. The setting becomes a mirror for the character's emotional state. Or maybe you want to use the setting to reveal hidden aspects of your character's personalities. How do they react when they're pushed to their limits by hostile environments? Do they rise to the occasion, or do they crumble under pressure? In Life of Pi, when the protagonist is stranded on a lifeboat with a ferocious tiger, the extreme circumstances strip away all pretenses and force him to confront his deepest fears and beliefs. The ocean setting becomes a crucible that forges his true character. You can also use setting to raise the stakes and create a sense of urgency. Put a ticking clock on your story by having a rapidly spreading wildfire or an approaching tsunami. Or create a pressure cooker environment, like a broken elevator or a locked room, where tensions can boil over and conflicts can explode. When the setting itself is a ticking time bomb, every decision and action becomes charged with intensity. The key is to make your setting an active, dynamic force in the story. Don't just describe it in a few pretty sentences and then forget about it. Weave it into the fabric of your plot. Let it shape your character's choices and experiences. Make it a worthy adversary that keeps readers on the edge of their seats, wondering how the heroes will ever overcome the challenges posed by the world around them. So take a look at your current work and ask yourself, how can I turn this setting into an obstacle course for my characters? What environmental hazards, challenges, or pressures can I introduce to make their lives harder and their conflicts more intense? Brainstorm ways to transform your setting from a mere backdrop into a living, breathing antagonist.